Hi guys, good day to you. I thought it's Louis in the UK, back again just for a little chat. Just so you know guys, I'm a lifelong Elvis fan. I'm from Southwest UK and I love talking about anything Elvis, and I love listening to what you guys have got to say. So I thought I'd keep today's this live just a bit more, less serious. So I found a list here of all the Elvis movies, and I thought I would just go through the list saying the year it was made, and then there's a small little write-up in each movie. And if you guys come into this live stream or want to comment, what I'm really asking you guys is, what was your favorite movie? Why did you like it? You're going to have more than one favorite. Who was your favorite co-star? You know, some of you obviously like Anne-Margaret and many others. And I'm just going to get a feel for what you like, because actually some of the cheesy movies I actually thought were okay. So I know that they tend to say things like Jailhouse Rock and King Creole are the standout ones where he were more dramatic and more serious, and that he acted better in. But I actually think, like, I liked Roustabout. You know, Roustabout was a good film. And I like GI Blues. I whizzed through. I'll just quickly say the ones I like. Girls, Girls, Girls was just funny. It Happened at the World's Fair. Well, I thought that was okay. Even Fun in Acapulco. Viva Las Vegas was okay, wasn't it? I'm just flicking through the ones that I liked. Clam Bait was okay, wasn't it? Speedway was all right. So let's just go through each one. And then you guys later, when you come on and watch, just comment and let me know your feelings of these different movies. So as far as I know, there was 33 movies. Let me just have a look. 2 of them were documentary style. So really it's 31 movies. We know that Elvis loved the cinema, looked up to many actors, not just James Dean and Marlon Brando, many others. He loved the Westerns as well. And he dreamed that one day he would be an actor as good as James Dean and Marlon Brando. And it was, I would say, for a period, like when he went into the army, that was the biggest thing that he wanted. And I think he really did put all his hopes into Colonel Tom Parker securing these amazing film roles. And I think in the early days, there was a chance that Colonel Tom Parker had pulled it off, because the first few movie roles like Love Me Tender and Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, did need some decent sort of, how can I say it, credible star acting. And so I do think that GI Blues was massively successful. It was the first movie he did, wasn't it, when he came out of the army in around 1960. And I think at that time, it is rumoured that he had an affair with Juliet Prowse, is it? Now, the problem with GI Blues, it was a great film to make because he'd come out of the army. He's obviously dressed as a soldier. And it's a brilliant film. It appealed to the families, all generations. The whole family could go and watch it together, really, couldn't they? And he looked great. He looked brilliant in a uniform. Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to start right at the beginning. I'm going to go through one at a time. Hi, Teresa. Loving You is the one with the girl that has become a nun. Yes, Dolores Hart. Yep. I've been watching her interviews, and she speaks beautifully about Elvis and says that how amazing he was. But she also says that she could see as his career progressed through the 60s, she could see a change in him because he had become so disheartened by doing so many films that he just felt were embarrassing. And she said she could see it even on his face, that he didn't have that spark that you get when you make a really good film. And I watched that interview today. I've also been watching Anne-Margaret, and she's been talking about, in these interviews, how they met, obviously Viva Las Vegas, and how much they had in common, that they both loved, both religious people, but also both very talented, great dancers, great singers, and had a lot in common. And she said that when she first met Elvis, this is Anne-Margaret, that she was actually quite cool about meeting him. The first thing she said to him was, "Oh, I've heard all about you." And he just laughed. But she said very quickly they realized that they had just something, a click, a spark, that you can't even describe it. It was just magical, and that they really did fall deeply, quickly, and they would spend all the spare time they had together in between filming these little film clips together, and just loved being together. And she admits to a 1-year affair. This is the interview that I watched today. But she's also very touchy, because when the interviewer started to ask questions, that she just very quickly said, and this interview looks like it's in the early 90s, she just very quickly said, I'm not comfortable. And then the interviewer backed off and went, and sort of gave her space, gave her respect. And then when she calmed down, the interviewer rethought his questions and then got her back. Because I thought at one point, she was going to walk off. You can tell she will not give up private information. She'll say we were together for a year. She doesn't use the word affair. She just says we were together for a year. She clearly admits that. I think it came out in her book. I think she wrote a book in 1993. What was it called? My Life, Anne-Margaret, I think it was called. Some of you might have read it. So it was a great interview. I watched more than one. Right, I'm going to go back to the beginning. So, Love Me Tender, 1956. So there is a backstory to this. Elvis didn't feel that this role fitted him. He definitely did not want to sing in this film. We've also the story with Deborah Paget. She was a very sweet, innocent girl. She had a very strict mother, very beautiful. And it is rumored that Priscilla wanted to look like her and did her hair like her, because she knew that Elvis had fallen for her on set. And Elvis was only around 20 in this film. Yeah. So he was a lot more, how can I say it, shyer and sweeter. And how can I say it? She found him very timid and sweet and gentle. That's how she found him, because you've got interviews of her later in life. And secretly, she actually liked Elvis. So Elvis had really fallen for Deborah Paget. And he loved the fact she was innocent and she had a religious background, very strict parents. Her mother was very strict, yeah. Her mother wouldn't let her out alone. And her mother did not approve of her trying to date Elvis. So it was never going to be allowed to happen. And Elvis carried a torch. This is what I read yesterday for Deborah Paget for quite a while. And they did stay friends. It was never to be. I actually think they suited each other. But she did meet a much more innocent Elvis, because he was so young. He was just starting out in his movie career. And he clearly says that he doesn't feel that role was right for him. So at the end of the Civil War, a Confederate team is ordered to rob a Union payroll train, but the war ends, leaving these men with their Union loot until the feds come looking. I wonder if it gives you any more information on it. No? Okay. So we all know Let me see if it lets me show you the cover. Hang on, let me just. So it's directed by Robert D. Webb. Oh, actually, I wonder if it will let me play the trailer. I'm going to try. Obviously, if there's music in it, I have to stop it because I'm not allowed to play music. But let's just give it a go. It wasn't a terrible film. I actually I watched it on YouTube. It's free on YouTube, and I think on YouTube you can watch it in color or black and white. I thought it was okay. The story line is very touching. Too much of it 'cause it's got music. Let's just see if the music stops.
Comes the sensational adventure of the notorious Reno brothers and the girl they fought over. Starring Richard Egan as Vance Reno, who came back from the wars to claim his bride. Deborah Paget as Kathy, who loved one Reno brother but married another. And introducing Elvis Presley as Clint Reno, who loved his brother but also loved his brother's girl.
I know you and Kathy used to be kind of fond of each other, but you ain't got no hard feelings against either one of us now, have you?
Hard feelings? Me? Why, of course not.
I hoped it'd be that way, Vance. We're so much in love.
Won't you even try and understand?
Bit more.
Nobody asks why a woman falls in love and gets married.
You do. You ask me with every look, and you've got no right to think I was faithless.
Say you want your lover. Say you ain't laid awake every night by my side thinking of him. Wishing I was Vance. Wishing you'd waited for him and never married me.
Guys, I would say it's worth a watch. I watched it about 2 weeks ago, and it was okay. Did you like it? And the color, I did prefer it in color. You got some. Let me just show you some pictures of it as well. So that's a great picture. That is. Look at that, guys. I know it's slightly blurry, guys. I know you're not getting the brilliant. She's beautiful, and actually her hair there is slightly red. And Elvis in this, it doesn't look like his hair. Look, I'll show you again. He hasn't dyed his hair black yet. See? Well, I really like that picture. Right, let me just. Why did it give me the picture? I want to see if there's any more pictures. I enjoyed that. So it's classed as a musical romance. That's what it says. I just want to see if I can get some more pictures up. Right, here we go. Aha, that's Elvis on set. I love these old pictures. Let's see. Right, so let me see. I'm only going to show you the ones that I think are quite interesting. That looks to me like Deborah Paget and Elvis, and they're in their little car. You know, they used to have these little on-set caravans, didn't they? And there's as far as I know, it made an absolute fortune. And we've got that video. I've seen it on YouTube where they have a giant size statue of Elvis above the cinema, but it's covered, and then they rip it off. I think we've all seen that, haven't we? And then the other guy who played opposite him, the guy, because obviously this is sort of a betrayal, because they thought he was dead. So there he is there, that plays his brother. And they thought he was dead, so they fell in love. Deborah Paget there. They fell in love. And then when the brother comes back, and that's the storyline, isn't it? But yeah, interesting. I'd like to have read more it's got the cast and crew, but it doesn't give you much of the story, which I would like to have gone into the story a bit more. Right, let's go to the next one. All right, here we are. There's the picture, the main picture that I think most people had at the cinemas. Can't choose just one. GI Blues. Right, hi Cheryl. GI Blues, Kawaii, girls, girls, girls. I thought he looked much better with sandy brown hair. Just my opinion. I agree. I agree. Less is more. Always. The more natural, the better. For men and women. Really believe that. I've always believed that. I say it to my wife all the time. Right, let's... Okay. I've got to find the app now. There's actually on YouTube, there's actually a video that shows all 33 trailers, all 33. I've watched it. Right, let's just find that app again. Yeah. Well, I know it's not 33, it's 31 and 2 documentaries. Come on, where are you? I've lost it now. I've lost the thing. Elvis Presley, all his movies. So, just a little story that when I discovered Elvis, yeah, I was only, I was so young, and really, obviously, these films were a bit old because I discovered Elvis in the 70s. So they were rerunning these movies. And I don't know what your memories are, guys, but it was Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon was when you could watch an Elvis movie. So me and my twin, Andreas, we would, every Saturday afternoon, we would sit, we would watch these movies together. We loved them. I'm not sure what countries you guys are from, but what is your experience and your memories of watching these films? Because I used to sit in my father's cafe. My father had a cafe, yeah, like a small restaurant, yeah. So, right, I found it. And so I would sit in my dad's cafe watching these films. He sure was, Teresa. Don't be wrong, he was still hot with black hair. But I thought his facial features showed more with his brown eyes. And I heard that part of the reason he wanted black hair was because he wanted to look like Tony Curtis. Have any of you heard that? Come on, Tony Curtis is an extremely good-looking man. And I loved his early films, Tony Curtis. You guys, you girls out there, girls, I'm saying this to the girls. Did you fancy Tony Curtis? Because Elvis wanted to look like him. Give me an honest answer. Right. So we're on number 2. We're on Jailhouse Rock. After serving time for manslaughter, young Vince Everett becomes a teenage rock star. So I loved Jailhouse Rock. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Spot on. One of my favorite films. Yes, supposedly the story is true about Tony Curtis. I saw an old movie with Tony Awika. I like the one where he was in the circus film. Was it with who did he play the circus film with? Was it I'm trying to remember. Come on, guys, tell me who it was. The circus film that he was in. Who was his co-star? Not Charlton Heston. Was it Kirk Douglas? Please let me know. Was it Kirk Douglas? And I love Charlton Heston and I love Kirk Douglas. I think they're both fantastic. I'm just topping up my coffee. Look, no kids. The kids are out because they're with the nan and the mum. So I've got to make the most of it. But I've been busy today. I've been for a run. I've done my weightlifting. I've walked the dogs. So I've sort of been out and about, and this morning I did make a couple of live streams as well. Was it Charles Bronson? Was it? I love Charles Bronson. One of my favorite actors of all time. My favorite Charles Bronson film was when he plays a boxer, when he plays a street fighter. Love that film. One of my favorite. And obviously, we all watched what are they called again, where his family gets killed. Oh, what are they called? Where his family is. He did about 4 of them. Remind me, guys. Remind me. Charles Bronson. That he did about 4. Yes, Burt Lancaster. Burt Lancaster. That was it. Hi, James. How are we? Good day to you. Follow That Dream, I thought was kind of funny and light-hearted. I have to watch that one again. But we're gonna go through each one. So, Burt Lancaster, one of my favorite actors of all time. Love him. And Charles Bronson. We all like the same people, guys. So I cheated. Burt Lancaster. Oh, you cheated. You went on your app, did you? Cheryl, naughty. Of course, I saw it in real time when he came on screen. The girls all stood up and screamed. The guys would scream, sit down. I was 13 in 1957. I was just obsessed with him. Mary, welcome aboard. How are you? You are so lucky. You are so lucky to have those memories. How many of us Elvis fans just wish we could have been around as it happened? So Viva Las Vegas. Yeah, I've watched so many interviews with Anne-Margaret. She's so amazing. I really, really like Anne-Margaret. And I love the film as well. Mary, yeah. She is. Mary, we're all jealous of you. Right, so I'm going to click on it and see if we get any information come up. So it says the director was Richard Thorpe and his co-star was Judy Tyler and Mickey Shaughnessy. Let's see I'm going to try and play the trailer without playing the music. I'm going to click play and just see what happens. Let's just give it a go. So I'm sort of trying to do this carefully so that I don't want to be copyrighted. So, because YouTube will tell me off. YouTube is our God. We have to do as we're told. YouTube is like Tino. I have to listen and be good. Right.
You know this young man. You've heard more about him than any star personality in the modern entertainment world.
Right, here we go.
Here is an Elvis Presley you've never seen before. Presley. Yes, you know this young man. You've heard more about him than any star personality in the modern entertainment world. Yet, here is an Elvis Presley you've never seen before. Vince Everett, dynamically portrayed by Elvis Presley, was a tough blackboard jungle kid who became even tougher under the influence of his jailhouse cellmate. A terrific performance by Mickey Shaughnessy.
I'm an animal in a jungle, and I got a motto. Do unto others as they would do unto you, only do it first. Do it first. That's right.
Jailhouse Rock is the astounding success story of this rebel with a voice that rocked the world.
Right, I'm going to stop it there because there's singing, and I'll always stop it on the singing but it just brings back loads of memories. I love that film so much, and I love him in that jumper. When I was much younger, I wanted jumpers like Elvis. When I was like in my late teens and 20s, I wanted jumpers like that. I wanted to look like Elvis, stood by the pool singing. Okay, let me just see if it's going to give me any other info on that. No, they class it as a drama, musical, romance, which it was. And isn't it true, guys, that the co-star, let me just get her name, died in a car crash with her husband only 1 or 2 years after that film was made? I'm sure that that's what happened. Let me just see who the co-star is. Yeah, Judy Tyler. Judy Tyler. Is it true? Actually, yeah. Judy Tyler. Actually, have we missed? Oh, I think we've missed Loving You. Right, let me go. I'm going to go to Loving You. So, yeah, I don't want to miss Loving You. Let me just, yeah, Loving You's next. Don't know how I missed that. Sorry. Right. Let's have a go at playing the trailer. I hope there's not too much singing. These phones. I'm so reliant on this phone, and then they've got a mind of their own, haven't they? Right. Right, let me just get past the adverts. Now, Loving You was a good film, and Loving You is free on YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube. Did you know that, guys? That it's free on YouTube? Right, it's going to play after the adverts, I think. Here we go. It's going to get past the singing. All right, no more singing. Come on, guys. We're trying to be naughty and play it.
I figure you fella galley, don't you?
Presley, a dramatic surprise in this hard-hitting, frankly revealing story of an American kid who fought and sang his way to the top.
Just beyond the mountain lies the city.
Let's go past the music. But isn't this the film where Gladys sat in the audience? Guys, tell me, is that the one? Right.
Is that what they're calling it now? Dolores Hart as the girl who loved him too much to hold him back.
Oh, no more music. Now, I think we all know about Dolores Hart, that she made 2 films with Elvis. I think the other one was King Creole, yeah. And then she became a nun, didn't she? And she spent her whole life as a nun, living in Bethlehem, I think. And she's 83, either 83 or 85 years old. She was so beautiful. So beautiful. And Elvis was really taken by her. I've seen some interviews. Elvis did really like her. So, yeah, the true Cheryl. But being 80 is the other end of that. I am just as obsessed with him today as I was then. Mary, 80 is the new 50. Come on. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tracy. I thought I'm trying to get a bit more light-hearted because I think we need to ease off a bit with the Priscilla stuff. So I'm starting to do different types of live streams, and I did a Colonel Tom Parker one a bit this morning, a Graceland one this morning. So I thought I'd start going through his movies today. I mean, there's a lot to go through, so we'll just keep going. I'll probably have to do like a part 2 and 3. James, you'll be surprised, mate. Don't forget, you've only been on that diet for 3 weeks. Wait till it's been 3 months. You'll have a surprise. You'll have a surprise. I'm only a few years short of 60. So I'm not that far behind you guys. And before I started this diet that I'm on, this carnivore keto diet, we can call the diet whatever you want. If you eat natural, so if you're eating meat and eggs and a slight bit of veg, a slight bit of fruit and nuts, and you cut out all the bad foods, so bread and sugar type foods, yeah, like pasta and so I call it whole foods. Your health's going to get better, guys. Trust me. You need to trust me on that. You stop the sugar and reduce your carbs. Cut out bread. Cut out pasta. No pizzas, guys. And you will get better. Any age. Any age. Anyway, we're talking about Elvis, right? Okay.
Mike Sands, the big moment when the girls discovered him and he discovered girls. See what happens when a down-to-earth kid goes too high, too fast. What kind of a town is this? You can't do this to us.
One of the things that makes America great is the right to a fair hearing. Yet, you've condemned Deep Rivers without it.
It's not my future you care about, it's yours. It's what I can do for you. You don't care about me or Tex or anybody.
just yourself. You've got 15 minutes to get on that stage and find out if you've even got a future.
Woo. No music. Let's cut out the music. So, do you know what? That just brings all the memories flooding back to me. That, and I do watch this on YouTube, and I watch this with my kids because it's completely free. It's color, and it's actually a great film. A great film. I really like Dolores Hart. So yeah, Tracy is 64. Well, I tell you now, if you're on, I think she's carnivore. Tracy, are you pure carnivore, or do you do a bit of keto as well? Let me know. But I'm not lying here, guys. If you are on carnivore or keto, which is basically meat and eggs and no fizzy drinks, and you cut out the sugar and the bread and the pasta, your energy levels will shoot up and you will feel under 40, even at 64. And your energy levels go, woo! Now, I'll tell you my day, yeah? We're going off subject slightly, sorry. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. Now, the time here in England is 4:15. So I have been awake for, you work it out, 7 plus 4. I've been awake for 11 hours. I've done weightlifting. I've done a run. I've walked the dogs 2 miles. And I've been working on my camper. And I am still bursting with energy. And I'm turning 57 on July the 10th. So I am proof that the diet works. And so is Tracy. And when Tracy says to you, you're going to feel like Superman, James, she ain't lying, because she is also proof that it works. And she's got no reason to lie, and nor do I. So stick with it, James. I'm with you, mate. So anyway, so Cheryl, I could not even imagine. I just became a super fan after Elvis movie. Although I was alive when he died and remember the news flash, I am the same age as Lisa Marie. I was born on March the 6th, 1968. You're still very young, Cheryl. You're still very young. You were born when the 68 comeback special was happening. I'll drink to that. Now, before I started this diet a year ago, I felt old. I actually felt like I was going to have a heart attack. Seriously, I felt like a year ago, I had this massive belly, big face, no energy. I was very unwell. I had a few illnesses. And this was only a year ago, guys. In a year, this carnivore keto diet has completely boosted me. I feel like Superman, guys. Superman. Anyway, let's get back to Elvis. Hi, guys. Let's see. I had a child crush on Gregory Peck. Love him. Cary Grant, who lived near me here, lived near Bristol. I loved Cary Grant. And they've brought out a Cary Grant on, I think it's on ITV in the UK. In fact, I know it is. On ITV in the UK. I don't know if you guys can get that. There is a brilliant film, a series. It's a series film about Cary Grant, and I love it. I've always loved Cary Grant and Gregory Peck. And Tony Curtis, my God, he's my hero. When I was 10, 11 years old, I wanted to be Tony Curtis. I loved all of his films. One of my favorite one of his films is Jack Lemmon, the one he did with Jack Lemmon. What's it called again? And Marilyn Monroe. And again, Marilyn Monroe is another person I adore. I adore Marilyn Monroe. But I like all of Tony Curtis's films. Brilliant. Love him. So you're 95% once a week. I have keto meal. Yeah. And I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. My Tracy, my cheat is like last night I had some grapes. The night before I had a tangerine and a plum. Today, all I've had today is just egg and bacon at lunchtime and nothing else. I do smother it in fat. Tonight I'll have steak and lamb ribs, and I might have an egg, but I will have a piece of fruit. I will. I don't know why, but I find that I sleep better if I've got a little bit of fruit in me. I don't know why. I've no idea, Tracy. I have an apple or a plum, and if I just eat meat and eggs, I find that it keeps me up at night. I've got too much energy, too much go in me. So I don't know why. I saw the miniseries. Yes, it's brilliant. Brilliant, Tracy. So 1967, yes, that's my year. And my camper van that I bought it because it was 1967. The year, I've always thought 1967 was the year of the Beatles, because I love the Beatles as well. Obviously, I love Elvis more, but I am a big fan of the Beatles, especially being from England, because I know that in America, they were massive there, but there was also problems, wasn't there? So, yes, Some Like It Hot. That's it, Teresa. Classic. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, if I tried to make my wife watch Some Like It Hot, she would laugh at me. My wife wouldn't watch a black and white film. My wife would not watch a black and white film. She is missing out so bad. But my father was very poor. So we had a black and white TV, even when everyone else had a color TV. So I grew up watching black and white films, yeah? Even in the 80s. And in the 80s, most families had color TVs. And so I loved Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd and all that kind of stuff as well, but also all the Westerns and Clint Eastwood and all of his stuff in the 70s, all his Westerns, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I just loved all of it. I was consumed by the films of the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s. Love them. Still do now. Still do. Yeah, definitely. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. Come on. They're heroes. I love them. The Rat Pack. How can you not love them? And Elvis loved them as well, didn't he? And Sammy Davis Jr., I've seen some amazing interviews from him praising Elvis. He is like up there. I think Sammy Davis Jr. is one of the most talented entertainers I've ever seen, ever. What's my favorite song of his? I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for me. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles. To Mr. Bojangles. Love him. Right. Right. So Nadia, but are you not sick of eating meat and eggs? And just the thought puts me off. And as I said, meat is so expensive. Nadia, right, I don't want to talk too much about the diet because we're here for Elvis, but I'll try and say it quickly and Tracy will agree with me. Our bodies are used to living off sugar. So you will always feel hungry. You will always feel hungry, yeah? Because you're addicted to sugar and you're craving sugar. Now, sugar, remember, it's also in any carbs. Anything you eat, like your fruit and your veg and your potatoes and your rice and your pasta, will all turn to sugar in your stomach, including cereals as well. So you are always craving, always hungry. That's why you snack all the time. And your body is getting all its energy from the sugar that you constantly are feeding it. And then what happens is this. There's an overload of sugar, yeah? So that's why you put on weight. But not just that. It pumps up your blood sugar levels, yeah? And when your blood sugar levels start going up because of this overload of sugar, first of all, you won't feel well, yeah? But the other thing is this. You'll start going pre-diabetic, and after a certain amount of years, 10, 20 years, 30 years sometimes, you'll become type 2 diabetic. So there's that, yeah? Now the other thing is this. Your body can also get its energy from fat. People don't realize this. The fat in your meat, the fat in butter, the fat, like the fat that comes out of your bacon is energy. It's the same equivalent as sugar. It gives you energy. A lot of people think, oh, fat makes you fat. No, it doesn't. A lot of people think if you eat cholesterol, it causes you harm. It doesn't. There's nothing wrong with cholesterol. Cholesterol is really good for you. So I know this is hard to believe, guys, but it's true. So when your body switches from from constantly living on sugar, yeah, you're sugar now, you will always feel unwell and have low energy, and you'll be constantly hungry, and you'll get overweight, and you'll get many illnesses. You'll get a lot of inflammation in your body, yeah, that causes loads of autoimmune problems like IBS, IBD, ulcerative colitis. You get arthritis and loads of aches and pains. Yeah, this is how, when you're constantly eating sugar. Okay, now this is what happens when you stop eating all the foods that turn to sugar. Your body will slowly, see how I'm moving my hands? Will start living off the fat in the meat, the protein in the meat. And many of you don't realize this, but meat and eggs have every vitamin and nutrient and mineral you could ever need. You could literally live on meat, eggs, and water and salt for the rest of your life, and your health will become optimum. Your body will run at its best. It will boost your immune system massively. So when you start moving over to living on fat, there is an adjustment period for about 3 or 4 weeks. You'll feel a change. Your body will start to go back to default and reset itself. And you eventually, when your body's living on meat and eggs and fatty meat and salt, butter, eggs, omelets, fish, prawns, yeah, you can have things like cheese. Then your body starts working properly and is feeding itself on the same foods that we were eating hundreds of thousands of years ago, the foods that we were ancestrally designed to eat. And then your body will then crave the meat. It will crave the eggs and the salt and the water and the fatty meats. Don't forget any meat: lamb, chicken, pork. Beef is the best one, ribeye steaks, but you can use cheap meats like bacon as well, and chicken. It's okay. Keep the skin on. And when your body is living off meat, you will not be hungry all the time. You will only want to eat once or twice a day, and then your body fixes itself. And this is what happened to me. When I went to fatty meat and eggs and salt, and butter and omelets and fish, my autoimmune problems, my inflammation throughout my body and my brain subsided. My ulcerative colitis went away, and I'd had it for 12 years, and I was very unwell, and I was on serious medication for the ulcerative colitis. Went within 3 weeks. My energy levels became crazy energy because I felt tired all the time. I used to have serious dizzy spells where I nearly collapsed regularly. Yeah, the dizzy spells completely went away. My blood sugar levels went back to normal. My blood pressure went back to normal. And the other thing that happened is I stopped feeling hungry all the time. And then I noticed my skin started getting smoother. If you look at my skin, I started getting smoother. And the other thing that happens is your muscles start to become more defined, because the protein in your body helps your muscles grow, and you don't even have to exercise loads. You should exercise, but you don't have to exercise a lot. I only exercise 3 times a week for 35 minutes, and I do 3 runs a week for 1.5 miles. That's all I do. That's all I do. And everything clears up. Your eyes clear up. Your brain fog disappears, so you become very clear-headed. So you feel alert and awake. And when you wake up, you can't wait to get up. You feel excited for the day ahead. And you literally feel, this is the last bit I'm going to say, guys, because we're here for Elvis. You literally feel 20 years younger. 20 years younger. And you have so much energy, you don't know what to do with it. And this is the massive success of the carnivore keto diet. You must look it up. And look up Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Sean Baker, and they're all on YouTube. And all of them, there are thousands of success stories on YouTube of people like me in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s who did this diet and have completely cured themselves and have reversed all their health conditions and have lost loads of weight, because you lose weight fast. I lost nearly 2 stone in 4 weeks. Yeah. And they have got their lives back. You get your life back, guys. And it doesn't matter what illness you've got, stomach problems, aches and pains, even heart problems, it all subsides. It all subsides. I know it sounds like a miracle diet, and it is. Tracy, are we agreed? Cheryl, are we agreed? Anyway, let's go back to the Elvis. Sorry about that, but I have to share it because it's been so good for me. Okay, let's get to the next one. Oh. Right, I got to find my place a minute. Right, so my wife just messaged me. Right, let's get back to it. So it's classed as a drama. It's okay, James. I love telling people about the diet because I want people to get better and feel younger. Some people have given up on life and they do this diet and suddenly they got their life back. They're in love with life again. So I want that. I really want that. Right. So we've got, the director was Hal Cantor. The writer was Herbert Baker, Hal Cantor, and Mary Agnes Thompson. And the co-star was Elizabeth Scott and Wendell Corey. I recommend that film. I thought it was really good. Really good. I thought Loving You was excellent. And I repeat myself, guys, it was on YouTube. It's on YouTube and it's completely free. Completely free. 100% agree. Honestly, I have the same energy levels when I was in my 30s and 40s. Just have to sustain the first month and then go easy. Yeah, the first month is tough. Your biggest problem on the diet is you feel hungry a lot at first. But as your body switches to fat and not sugar, you'll get much less hungry, much less. But the butter coffee does help me not be hungry. So I've only eaten once today. I don't have breakfast. And it's 4:30. And I had eggs and bacon. I'm going to have to tell my wife just messaged me. I'm just telling my wife. It's funny. My wife, Tracy, you'll find this funny. My wife is in the supermarket trying to buy me steaks. And she's sending me pictures of steaks. That's just funny. We're talking about meat, and she said, yeah, food porn. I just said to her, get the cheap ones. Right, so let's go back to so we've done Love Me Tender, we've done Loving You, we've done Jailhouse Rock. We're now on Kinkery Hole, which is definitely one of my favorite. I'm going to click on it. I would say Kinkery Hole was probably his most dramatic role. And the story behind that is 1958. And the story behind that I know is that James Dean had passed away in that horrific car crash. In that very famous car that he drove. I can't remember what it's called. Was it a Spider? Any of you guys know? Costco. Yeah, we don't have a Costco here. I wish ribeye is my favorite, but we don't have a Costco. Every now and then Aldi will do 4 ribeyes for £15. And when they do that, I buy them. Yes, the Spider, Nadja. So, beautiful car, mind. And I love James Dean. When I was 15, I had a James Dean jacket. Is it called an Arrington? Bright red James Dean jacket. And I would grease my hair back. And I thought I was James Dean. I thought I was Elvis. I thought I was James Dean. It's funny. I thought I was Tony Curtis. Right. So let's play. Let's see if I want to click on the trailer, get past the music, and I'll play it for you. Look, she's still sending me pictures. Look. She's bought me some pork bellies and some lamb ribs, as well as the steaks. I'll just say perfect. She's funny because what it is, her mum's down today, so the gran of the kids. So she likes to do a bit of a roast dinner for them. Right, let's play that.
You aware that Carolyn was murdered?
Right, let's just...
My suspect.
Let's get past the advert. But she's still sending me more pictures. When I was 20, yes, Nadia. At 57, nah. Right, let's see if it's going to play. Here we go. Is this it? Oh, just wait for the advert. God, let me just tell her I'm doing a live. I'm doing a live. Get what you want. Get what you want.
The family you now know and love to death was brought to life.
Right, I don't know why it's showing me the Addams Family, which I did like when I was a kid.
Conceived as a satire.
Is that an advert? Let me just see if it gets past that so we can talk about that film. Yeah, he definitely was. He definitely was. And he was dating Natalie Wood, wasn't he? So, and the other thing I heard, Elvis was offered the lead role of West Side Story. Is that true? He could have played the lead of West Side Story, which is one of my all-time most favorite films, West Side Story. I love it. And my kids watch it. Even the Steven Spielberg remake of it, it's not too bad. It's not obviously not as good as the original. Not as good as the original, but it's still good. The remake of West Side Story I thought was okay. Morticia, yes, and Adams was the leading lady. Oh, that's a coincidence, isn't it? And that's why it's showing it here, yeah? Yeah, I do remember that. Right, I'm trying to... Come on, let me see the trailer. Is it going to let me? It might not let me. Let's just press play. It says after 11 seconds. So let's see what happens. So it was 1958. After 11 seconds. Yeah. Is it one of your favorite movies, guys? It's just showing me the cover. It's not showing me the trailer. Hang on. Let's see what. No, it's not letting me play it. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Doesn't matter. Shane, actually, I'll go to YouTube and I'll put King Creole trailer. See what comes up. King Creole trailer. Surely it's going to let me have it. Right, here we go. Yes. Right, let me get past the music. Right. He looks so good in it, guys. He sure was. All right, okay. We've seen them. We want the acting, not the music. There we go.
You're a pretty fancy performer, ain't you, kid? Now you know what I do for an underwear.
Now he crowns his meteoric rise to fame with a fiery burst of dramatic power as hard-loving, hard-hitting Danny Fisher, who sang his way up from the gutters of lusty, brawling New Orleans.
Right, come over here, come on. The dogs are back. They've been away for a week because they've been with the gran. So I'm guessing one of the kids have got home from school, but one of the older kids, because the little ones are with mum in the supermarket. So yeah, just a little clip of it there. Wonder if it gives any information. Elvis Presley stars as a naive but talented nightclub singer whose climb to the top takes a dangerous detour when he gets mixed up with the New Orleans mobster. And Walter Matthau is in this film, and Walter Matthau is brilliant in this film. Yes, I love John Wayne. Love him. Yes, I heard that. He wanted him in True Grit. And Robert Mitchum, I've seen the interviews that Robert Mitchum actually went out of his way and met Elvis. I think went into his dressing room and tried to talk Elvis into doing Thunder Road. And then, but eventually, I think Robert Mitchum played it himself, didn't he? But you imagine Elvis in Thunder Road, right? The Rainmaker. And the other one I heard is the Midnight Cowboy. Yeah, which is another one of my absolute favorite films. And Elvis was offered the lead role of Midnight Cowboy. Yes, Teresa. Right, let's go to the next one. It's pretty obvious we're not going to get through that many. We're doing a bit of a go slow. Right. I think the whole YouTube, jump into YouTube for the trailers might be a bit quicker. I'm going to try that. So, right, we are now on. Is it GI Blues? Let's have a look. Yes, GI Blues. So we can talk about that. At the time, Parker would only agree to movies where Elvis could sing songs for album songcraft. Money, it was too much money. And as far as I know, he was given $1 million per movie and a percentage of the profits, which was unheard of in the early 60s. I've gone through the amount of movies he was making. I think the first 2 years, so is it 57? I think in 56 he made 2. I think he might have only made 1 in 57. Let's just have a look. So you got, let's just say it. So in 56 he made Love Me Tender. Then he made 2 in 2 in 57. Yeah, he just did King Creole in 58. That's because he was in the army, and that's from what I know, guys. They let him out of the army so he could finish that film. And at the time, Anita Wood was his girlfriend, and she went with him on set, and she would visit him on set. And then he came back to the army. So then GI Blues, Parker had no artistic understanding, single-minded towards money. Yes, I agree. But I will say this. I do think that when they first met and when Colonel Tom Parker bought the contract of Sam Phillips, which I think was the latter part of 55, I think. Is it, the Sun Records, they say Sun Records, but it's actually called Memphis Studios, wasn't it? Everyone calls it Sun Records. Memphis Studios. I do think there was a massive jump for Elvis where he went from being like locally famous, where suddenly, because of Colonel Tom Parker had contacts, because he did have experience, didn't he, with as a promoter, especially in the country music scene. I think, is it Hank Snow? Anyway, I do think that when he got this contract with RCA Victor and Paramount Movies, I think there was definitely a massive increase. Now, I do also think that any decent manager, promoter, was going to do that for Elvis because he was too talented. So who knows, guys? Who knows? Right, so GI Blues, we've got Tulsa McLean, a soldier with dreams of running his own nightclub, places a bet with a friend, Dynamite, that he can win the heart of an untouchable dancer. But when Dynamite is transferred, Tulsa must replace him in a bet. Right, let's go to YouTube. See if we can find it. I'll skip past the music. GI Blues. Trailer. Let's have a look. Okay. It's not the actual songs. It might be all right. So we know it's rumored that he had an affair with Juliet Prowse. We don't know if it's true, but it's rumored. Also, she had not that long previously been engaged to Frank Sinatra. Is that correct, guys? And I've also seen the footage of Elvis when he did his second comeback, because I always think that Elvis had 2 comebacks. He had the 68 comeback, and then he had the Vegas comeback. They have a backstage get together, not backstage, like a VIP, and you see Juliet Prowse and Sammy Davis Jr. and Cary Grant and a few other very famous people, and it's all there on YouTube to see. And Juliet Prowse, I mean, she's a stunning, beautiful lady, Juliet Prowse. So, right, let's just get past the music. Let's see if it shows any of the action.
Pass a doing attack on a magic carpet ride to paradise.
Oh, let's keep watching.
Diversionary tactics with a dolly of his own.
Oh, I'm not going to play that. That'll definitely copyright me. So, just a good film, guys. A good family, all-round film. Even my kids, my younger kids, would like that. They would enjoy that film. An interview with Parker said Elvis had full authority on the movies and songs he did. Parker said he wasn't involved in any decisions. How? Let's have a look. Yeah, but I also blame is it the director? What was his name? Is it Hal Wallace? I think Hal Wallace was also part of the problem, not just the Colonel, but, you know, they just, because the formula was working so well, making the most money. And I do think Elvis does have to take some responsibility for this as well. So I do blame the Colonel, and I do blame the directors and Hal Wallace, people like that. But I have to blame Elvis as well. Have to. There's got to be joint responsibility, because at the end of the day, Elvis was an adult. So sometimes money makes us do the wrong thing. Sometimes, unfortunately. Right, next film, guys. Let's have a look. And please give me your opinions, guys. See what you think. So, Flaming Star. I've never watched Flaming Star. When fighting breaks out between two cultures in West Texas, the mixed blood pacer tries to act as a peacemaker, but the flaming star of death pulls him irreparably into the deadly violence, right? My wife is asking me if we have cheese. I've already messaged her saying, buy whatever you want. She's still asking me if we got cheese. She makes me laugh. Right. Right, here we go. Back to the... Right, where are we? Let's get back to... We were doing Flaming Star. Now, did he sing in Flaming Star? I don't think he sang in Flaming Star. Yeah, GI Blues is spot on, Nadja. Did he sing in Flaming Star? Let's do a competition for all of us here. Did he sing in Flaming Star? Flaming Star trailer. Right, I'll play it in a sec. Let me just read your comments. Right, let's get past. Okay. I'm just going to read your comments, guys. Elvis always suffered from insecurity throughout his career, hence he never bucked Parker or any of the directors. If only he knew how good an actor he was. I agree. I think he was a brilliant actor. I just love watching Elvis. I love watching Elvis. I don't care what it is. Cheryl, I agree with you. Some blame, but I think Colonel Parker had him so petrified that he would make the money, and that if he made waves, he might not get the roles. But other actors made demands. I wish he did too. And I know you guys are so passionate and upset that Elvis. Sometimes we feel like he wasted 10 years, don't we? All of the 60s. And what could have been, yeah? What could have been. But I will also say this, that we loved a lot of the songs in the movies. We did love them. I know people class them as being cheesy and corny, but I loved a lot of the songs in the films. And I'm sure you did. So Nadia says no. There's no song in Flaming Star. Maybe there is in the beginning. Yeah? No, I don't believe he did. Colleen. Hi, Colleen. Welcome aboard our family. Mary, only the title song, which I think you're probably right, because I've just heard a bit of it here. Cane and High Starch Collar. Is that You have to. So I need to say. Let's just. I just need to move your comment up so that it. So yes, he did. Cane and high starch collar. I don't know. So Naja says maybe. My son's here. Cheryl Spencer. Supposedly they wanted him to do that movie that Tony Curtis did with Sidney Poitier, which I love that film. Do you mean the Do you mean where he's a teacher? Is that the film you mean? Let's have a look. And I love that Sidney Poitier film. And there's a part 2 to it that he does years later, isn't there? They wanted Sammy Davis Jr. I think it is true. What's that film called, guys? It's one of my favourite films. Oh, I forget what it's called. Right, let me just press play on this.
You saw him arguing, stalling, all time almost dying, keeping us there more than an hour. It was just 5 minutes before we got here that she died. If we'd have gotten here just a little sooner, she may be alive now. You know it's his fault. Put that knife down. Get out of the way. She was worth 1,000 of them. They let her die.
Elvis Presley as Pacer.
Very dramatic, actually. I'm going to watch that because I haven't watched it.
Barbara Eaton, the beauty who fired the conflict in Pacer's soul.
She was the worst. He made me feel it the worst.
And Dolores Del Rio and John McIntyre as the mother and father caught in the middle of a savage, relentless struggle.
Well, this looks like it's going to be a real bad war. Everybody in this whole part of Texas is going to be in it sooner or later.
It was a time of vengeance, of the land being challenged by white man and red. It was a time for Pacer to choose. And which...
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I like Western films. I actually love Western films. But I don't know, it didn't do it for me, that one. Did you guys like it? For some reason, I didn't know. I know Elvis loved riding horses, didn't he? And he had his own favourite horse. What was it called? Rising Sun, it was called. And he had the big stables and called the stables the House of the Rising Sun. And I know that he bought Priscilla a beautiful horse in 1967. For her birthday. So he loved the horse riding bit. But I also heard that he had a bit of an accident on a horse very early on in his career, which put him off horses for a while. But then when he bought this horse for Priscilla for her birthday, it rekindled his interest and made him fall in love with horses again. And he really loved his horses, Elvis. And we know that he bought all the Memphis Mafia and horses. They all had a horse each, and he was so proud of his stables, and he would spend a lot of time cooling his horses down and brushing his horses down. He loved his horses, loved them. And we know that he would ride his horses to the gates and sign autographs, and he would show off riding up and down Graceland on his horses, and he liked to dress up when he was on his horses. So yes, To Sew With Love, that's the film I remember. And there's a British girl in it. Oh, what's her name? I forgot her name. There's a British girl in it who's still around now, who plays one of the lead roles. But To Serve With Love is a beautiful film. I love it. And they did do a follow-up. It's not as good, but it's still good. Let's have a look. A little less conversation. So I'm just missing some comments. Yeah, the Defiant, Cheryl, the Defiant Ones. I know that film, which is, I think, is very similar. Very similar. A little less conversation was redone and was a hit. Yes, yes. I remember. I don't know if you lot know, but I was a DJ for 26 years, as well as running my businesses. And I remember A Little Less Conversation being released, and I used to play it all the time. And this would have been, I think, either in the late 90s or the noughties. Barbara Eden, The Dream of Jeannie. I Dream of Jeannie. Right. Havaja. Hi, Havaja. How are you? One of the biggest crimes was Elvis not doing the remake movie In A Star Is Born. I really believe he would have possibly won an award for that, as he really was a strong storyteller in his own right. And we know the story that Barbara Streisand went out of her way to meet Elvis more than once, and Elvis fully agreed to do it. And then he went back, spoke to the Colonel, a few other conversations, slept on it. And in the end, Red West says to him, are we doing this? Are we doing this? Because everyone got excited that they were going to do this film, Star is Born. And Elvis said, I can't do it. I can't do it. Wouldn't talk about it. It's a damn shame. A damn shame. Because he would have been better. I'm trying to remember the guy who played him. What's his name? He's a great actor, but I actually think Elvis would have done it better. Would have, for a start, he was a better singer than the other guy. What was his name? God, I like him. He's a good actor. He was in the trucking film. We're all going on a convoy. Yeah. What's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. Right. So Elvis even had a beautiful speaking voice. He sure did. Colleen, like you're a new name, or you've only been on a few times. Welcome to our family, Colleen. Hope you're well. Let me know where you are, what country you're in. I do forget names, so you've probably been on many times. I just forget names. It's a good movie. Elvis loved westerns. Loved him in Charo with his beard. I haven't watched Charo either. Have not watched it. Elvis. All right, Elvis with a beard in Charo. No words. So, Cheryl, does that mean you like Elvis in a beard? Is that what you're saying? Let's have a look. Chris Christopherson. That's him. I love him. I think Chris Christopherson's brilliant. I think Elvis would have played it better. Lulu. Thank you. Yes, Lulu, who was around in the 60s. She's still around now, and she still looks great. And she's 70 odd now. She looks amazing. You can look great even in your 70s. The Elvis formula did work. Prefer the cheesy, colourful, easy movies, but I would still have loved to see Elvis in better movies as well. And do you know what? I love the cheesy movies, but I love them because I watched them when I was a child. So I was like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, watching Elvis's cheesy movies. So I love them. Yeah. But as I got older and I rewatched things like Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, stuff like that. They're the ones I like. I like Elvis being dramatic if it's a good storyline. Elvis in Charo with his beard looks like my nephew. Does that mean your nephew's very handsome? Let's have a look. Right. I would still have loved to see Elvis in better movies as well. Yeah. So thanks, James, Chris Christopherson, and Stacey. Thank you, Chris Christopherson. Parker had too much control. And then we got, A Star is Born would have been so brilliant. And definitely, he could have won an Oscar, couldn't he, Nadia? You're in Massachusetts. Hi, Massachusetts. Yeah, no, I do know you've been on a few times, Colleen. Thank you. What time is it for you, Colleen, where you are? Here in the UK is Western Superman. Sorry, let me just reply anytime. BS247 TJ. Right. Right. Okay, Nadia. Right. So 12 p.m. So here it is 5 p.m. in the UK. Elvis elevated those cheesy movies, and some of the songs were really good. I agree. I think some of the songs in his movies are brilliant. I love them. It was also the only way that the Europeans could see him. He was only on our radio. Yeah. Come on. We just love watching Elvis. Come on. We love it. When he's young and slim and tanned and funny, talking, we can hear his voice. Even when he's chatting at the girls, we love that. When he's having a laugh with the boys, we love it. We're all addicted. It's not just sugar that we're all addicted to. It's Elvis as well. Right. So let's have a look. So after that, it was I think it's Wild in the Country. Wild in the Country, 1961. So Elvis would make 2 a year, but there was a time when he did make 3 a year. So I think I'm not going to do any more of these now because I think we've been on long enough. It's been an hour and a quarter, but I will just quickly go through the amount of films he made per year, guys. And we can do a part 2 of this, can't we? We're probably going to have to do a part 3 and a 4 on this because there's too many movies. So we'll start from the beginning, yeah? So he did 1 in 56, Love Me Tender. Then he did 2 in 57, so Loving You, which is free on YouTube. Jailhouse Rock in 57. Then in 58, he just does King Creole because he's in the army and they let him out for a while so he could finish it. Then GI Blues, he's coming out of the army. He's on his way back to do the Frank Sinatra special, which I think Frank called it the Elvis is Coming Home special. So he comes back. We know that this famous journey that Elvis took on a train, traveling back to, I think, was LA, I think. I'm guessing Paramount Studios. And he makes GI Blues, which was a massive success, which I think is part of the reason why they kept with that formula. So in 1960, he's made 2 films, GI Blues and Flaming Star. So then we go to 61. He makes Wild in the Country. He makes Blue Hawaii. I think we all like Blue Hawaii, yeah? That's 61. With Angela Lansbury. And I've got some good interviews with Angela Lansbury talking about how lovely Elvis was on set and how she loved working with him. On the Wild in the Country, I'm just looking at the girls. So there's Tuesday Weld here. Now, did he have an affair with Tuesday Weld? Did that happen? Right. So he's done 2 in 61. So we're now on to 62. So right, this is where it all gets a bit stressy. He makes 3 films in 1962. 3 films. You imagine that, guys? So, yes, he was funny and very good looking. Sure was. My favorite is the first one I watched as a child, King Creole. Wicked Felina. Hi, Wicked Felina. I subscribe to your channel, Wicked Felina, and it's very good. Highly recommend Wicked Felina's channel. So thanks for joining in with us. So we have... Yes, he was very... right. Yeah, come on, King Creole. It's too good. I wonder if it's been colorized. I wonder. I'd like to see King Creole in color because I never have. She played his mum, and on Mother's Day, he would send her flowers. Right. So then we've got Naja. Was that the time a girl came up to him on the train and thought he was Johnny Cash and asking for an autograph, and Elvis sang her a Cash song and signed the autograph? I don't know. We know that Johnny Cash was very fond of Elvis, and we got the very old footage in the 50s, and they sort of started out together, didn't they, in Memphis? And I think Sam Phillips, Johnny Cash was one of his stable, wasn't he? We know about that famous trio that they had in Memphis studios, Sun Studios. So it was Elvis, Johnny Cash, and who was the third one? It's another competition for you guys. Who was the third person singing in that trio? They're on Elvis is playing the piano. Right, let me just get this. Oh, hang on. So we've got... Yes, I heard that, Stacey. So what time the girl came up? Right, where are we? So, did the ATV catalogue contain Elvis's publishing rights? According to Dick Gregory, it was bought by Michael Jackson. I'm not Vic. Hi, Victor. Are you new to our family? Where are you from? And if it's the first time you've been on, welcome. And you're very welcome to our family. Let us know where you're from. I don't know the answer to your question. Maybe one of the others do. Carl Perkins, yes. And I've done a video on Carl Perkins. He's amazing. And he is so gifted, so gifted. And Elvis did a few of his songs as well, didn't he? And I saw some interviews with Carl Perkins when he was older. And really gifted, right till he got much older. So Roy Orbison. I love Roy Orbison. Absolutely love him. I can't sing Roy Orbison. His voice is too high, but I love him. Gianna Garda. Hi, Gianna. Thanks for your comments. The black and white ones. Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, Wild in the Country. I also like the bits of Viva Las Vegas, Fun in Acapulco, and Change of Habit. Thanks, Gianna. Elvis and Johnny. I've never watched... So I'm getting mixed up. Elvis, Johnny, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis, and the $1 Million Quartet. Yes, I know that he loved his quartets. So you're in New York. Yes, New York, New York. Welcome, Victor. Thank you for joining in with us. Yeah, Carl Perkins sang a lot of the songs before Elvis, didn't he? So thanks, James. Right, so as I was saying, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to have to call it a day because my wife keeps trying to ring me. Michael Jackson was obsessed with Elvis. He took a lot of inspiration from Elvis, right down to Band-Aids on his fingers. So it could well be Michael Jackson purchased the rights. I always thought Michael Jackson had the Beatles rights, the Beatles, and it really upset Paul McCartney. So don't know. I'm not sure there, Naja. I need to look that up. So we are now. Let's have a look. But didn't he have to sell them off, Colleen, because he had financial problems? I know that Paul McCartney wanted to buy them back. I don't know if he ever did. I'm not sure. Let me just bring that comment up, James. What it is, I've got some symbols on my screen that cover the comments. Standing on his toes while singing. I'm not really sure what you mean, James. Over 50 artists were included in the catalogue. Do you mean Michael Jackson's catalogue? Let's have a look. I'm just bringing these comments up. Michael did purchase the Beatles rights. Yeah, I remember that. And he may have been trying to get Elvis through Lisa Marie. Yes. I think that's more likely. And I always thought that Michael Jackson loved James Brown. Because if you look at James Brown's dancing, and I love James Brown, I've done some brilliant interviews at James Brown talking about Elvis. They were very good friends, very good friends. And some musical scenes, little less conversation, and the edge of reality are great if it were possible to extract clips from the movies and make a composite one. It would have been special. Then Nadia, Michael Jackson stole Elvis movies and costume ideas. Then we got Michael Jackson did the standing on his toes from Elvis. Oh, right, gotcha. Right, okay, I got you. Yes, Elvis was the original of that. Definite. Right. I didn't know that, James. Did not know that. That's really interesting. Michael did love... Oh, yeah, definitely. And Sammy Davis Jr. as well. Because, come on, Sammy Davis Jr. is one of the most talented people I've ever known. I love watching Sammy Davis Jr. Love watching him. Amazing. Right, this is my claim to fame. I watched James Brown front row around 1990 in London, and he was 10 feet away from me. So James Brown singing all his classics, and even then in 1990 he was fit and strong, and he was that far away from me. I loved it. It was like when I was with my friends, I was like, do you understand? We are watching a legend. We are watching a legend. And they were like, because they weren't into that music. I was really into it, yeah. So I just couldn't take my eyes off him. And my mates were like off having a cigarette and a can of lager, and I was like, no, I'm staying here. I'm watching James Brown. I watched every second of it. I'm so glad I did. Michael's very talented. All right, my wife's home. Right, okay, I'm gonna go, guys. I've got to go. Otherwise, I'm going to get told off by the wife. We're going to do a part 2 later. I'm either going to do the movies later or I'm going to read the book. So I'm going to have to go. I will get told off by my wife. She'll probably beat me. Yeah. So thanks, guys. I say goodbye. All of you that have joined in today, there's some new names. You're very welcome. I really, really appreciate you joining in on this chat. Thanks, Stacey. Thanks, James. Thanks, Gianna. We've got all the Tracy, Colleen, Victor, Wicked Felina, Nadia, all of you. Thank you so much. Cheryl, all of you. And my good friend James. Me and James are mates. Teresa. Brilliant. I've really enjoyed it today. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, everyone. You've been brilliant. Thank you. Goodbye.